Hi, greetings, fellow Whovians. Whovian Queen here. Hope I'm having a good week so far. Well, a look at the 11th Doctor era, now it continues on with the episode Hide. In November 1974, Professor Alec Palmer and his assistant Emma Grayling collect photographic evidence of a ghost in Caliburn House. Professor Palmer is using Emma's strong psychic powers to create a connection that appears to summon the ghost. They're surprised by the arrival of the 11th Doctor and Clara, who claim to be from military intelligence. The Doctor shows the Doctor shows interest in the investigation, and Clara points out that the ghost appears in the same position within each photograph. The Doctor takes Clara and the TARDIS to examine their specific location at various points during Earth's history, and repeatedly takes photographs of the same area. From his pictures, the Doctor comes to the conclusion that the Caliburn ghost is actually a pioneering time traveler named Hila Tokorian. Hila was trapped in a pocket universe where time moves more slowly. The Doctor prepares a device to stimulate Emma's psychic abilities to open a gateway to this pocket universe. Once opened, the Doctor will travel across and rescue Hila with a harness anchored in the normal world. The Doctor finds Hila in the pocket universe, and the two are followed and chased by a creature in the forest. Hila returns to Caliburn House, but the gateway closes before the Doctor can return. Clara pleads with the TARDIS via its holographic voice interface to help her save the Doctor. After initially refusing, the TARDIS finally opens up and allows Clara in. As Emma reopens the gateway again with Palmer's encouragement, the TARDIS briefly flies into the pocket universe and moves close to the ground, allowing the Doctor to jump and hang on before the creature can grab him. Before leaving the next morning, the Doctor stops to ask Emma if she could sense anything unusual about Clara, but Emma reveals that Clara seems normal to her. The Doctor concludes that Hila is a direct descendant of Emma and Palmer. He reasons that their relation resulted in a blood connection that helped Emma open the gateway to rescue Hila. The Doctor's tale realizes that there was another creature within Caliburn House, and the creature chasing the Doctor and Hila in the pocket universe is its mate, which is trying to reunite with the creature. The Doctor asks Emma for a favor, and they use Emma and the TARDIS to retrieve the other creature from the pocket universe. Aww. So now let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. In the episode, the Doctor uses blue crystal from Metabellus 3. Metabellus 3 was featured before when the third Doctor took a blue crystal from the planet in the Green Death and returned it to the planet of the spiders, although it was pronounced differently. The Doctor mentions the Eye of Harmony, which was introduced in The Deadly Assassin. The Doctor puts on the orange spacesuit he originally wore in the Impossible Planet / Satan Pit, and wore on a number of occasions up to the waters of Mars when taking the photos. And now let's take a look at the production of this episode. Writer Neil Cross was a Doctor Who fan, but never had the time to write an episode. Executive producers Caroline Skinner, who was new with the 7th series, knew him and offered to work his schedule around writing an episode. He was willing to do it. Executive producer and lead writer Stephen Moffat was pleased to have Cross join, as he was showrunner in his own right with Luther. Cross also wrote the 7th episode of the series, The Rings of Akhaten, which he was invited to do after the producers enjoyed Hyde. The script process of Hyde involved no face-to-face meeting, as Cross lives in New Zealand. However, he flew in with his family to watch the filming. Cross wanted to write a really old-fashioned scary episode of Doctor Who, targeted especially at children 9 to 12, which is how he remembered Doctor Who at that age. He stated that, quote, time-traveling ghosts are echoes of one another. What is a ghost if not a fragment caught in time? He aimed to show suspense and tension, as he felt it was more terrifying than full-on shock, horror, blood, and gore. Cross was inspired by the Quatermass experiment and its sequels, and originally intended to have the Doctor meet Bernard Quatermass, though this was not possible for copyright reasons. Cross is also inspired by Quatermass writer Nigel O'Neill's The Stone Tape, which is why he set the story in the 1970s. Hyde was intended to be a very small, very restricted ghost story, but he was asked to make it bigger in the end. The different universe was present, but it was smoke and mirrors, and the climax originally took place in the house, just in daylight and in the alternate world. The idea of the crooked man was something Cross set lurked in his imagination. The love story twist was added in later, because Moffat felt the monster should be more fleshed out, Cross chose to mirror the love plot between Emma and the professor. Cross wanted to tell the story with a small cast and as few locations as possible. Jessica Raine was offered the part of Emma Grayling, and later said that she had not realized what an institution Doctor Who is until she arrived on set. She did was produced very differently from a series called The Midwife. Raine had also worked with Matt Smith before on a play. Cross said that Raine and co-guest star Dougray Scott were good at filling out their characters, and he found it difficult to fully evoke the history of a quite complex relationship between their characters with just the script. Subsequent to filming her appearance in this episode, Raine was cast as Doctor Who's original producer Verity Lambert, and docudrama made for the show's 50th anniversary, An Adventure in Space and Time. Hyde was the first episode Jenna-Louise Coleman filmed as Clara. Cross only had Coleman's 5-minute audition for Asylum of the Daleks, in which she played a different but mysteriously linked character to work from, and some editing was done to her lines to make her sound less bitchy. Otherwise, the scripting process was smooth. The read-through for Hyde took place on May 21st, 2012. Film began 3 days later on the 24th. Scenes from the match were filmed at Markham County Park in June. Tyneston Field, a National Trust property near Bristol, was used as the mansion. The scenes in the forest were filmed in the Gethin Forest in Wales with artificial mist. The crooked man's movements were done in reverse and then played forward to give it an unnatural movement. Director Jimmy Payne had Cross's children be monster consultants during filming and evaluate if it was scary enough. And now finally, let's take a look at some cultural references. The episode also contains several cultural references. Claire introduces herself and the Doctor as Ghostbusters, a reference to the film of the same name, which would not be made for another 9 years from the time at which the episode is set. The Doctor recites his dialogue the lyrics, birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it, from Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter, as he realizes that the crooked man is just a lost lover. The Doctor also mentions the Baker Street Irregulars, who assisted Sherlock Holmes in several of Arthur Conan Doyle's stories. However, the Doctor is in fact alluding to the Special Operations Executive, a British World War II organization that Professor Palmer was a part of. Interesting. So far, I think this is a pretty good episode, and definitely one that you should try to watch around Halloween, which was only a couple days ago, but hey, whatever. So overall, I give the episode Hyde 5 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Until next time, as we take a look at the episode, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. Well, hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified about when I upload videos. And if you want to help support this channel further, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. Link, as always, is in the description below. Anyway, until next time, this is Whovian Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt! When I say run, run! I have a versatility of the neutron flow. Would you like a chili, baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo!" Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.